Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are doing yet again another Chris Chan Sonic Insanity. Now, Chris Chan disappeared for a bit, and now since he's come back onto Twitter, he's become a little bit stranger, if that's possible. His tweets are making a lot less sense now, and a lot of people were commenting on my last video that it was only thanks to me really looking it over and reading it over and over again that people were actually able to figure out what the fuck he was talking about last time. And this time it was even harder. I didn't really understand the overall point of this tweet thread until I really looked it over like a couple times. So hopefully you guys will get a better understanding of what the fuck Chris is talking about here, because I know some people are having issues with that now. So someone makes a tweet at Chris saying, make some comics and present it as a portfolio. And Chris responds with, hey everyone, firstly and foremostly, I will get to proper comic book chronicling of the past plot hole fillings and present day events. So what he's saying there is that he is going to fix the plot holes of the old Sonichu comics with new retconned versions of the stories, and he's going to be chronicling the stuff that he's doing now in Quickville, quote unquote, when I am able to. The events that are canon will be book chronicled by me, personally, are all happening right freaking now, in these moments. It is indeed most serious, especially since these are in progress sequence events of the Dimensional Merge. Now, we hadn't heard anything about the Dimensional Merge in over 2 weeks, so I guess you could count this as like a bookend for the Dimensional Merge of last year. But this is really just Chris trying to come up with excuses why he's not writing the comics like he's supposed to. Like, earlier on in the summer, Chris started doing, like, a shitty card game, and that was his excuse for not doing the comic book. But now, he's not even really doing the card game so much, so he really doesn't have an excuse, so this whole thing will be his excuse, this whole thread. And coming together, all of the OCs, creators, and creations between here, 1218, and C197, and beyond, including Equestria. Any and all present time pesterings of where are the comics and which versions of Marvel, DC, Disney. So what he's saying here is, like, don't ask him where the comics are, and don't ask him about the continuity of the characters who are existing in C197. Don't ask him which version of Spider-Man is there. Don't ask him about the continuities of the other characters in his made-up world. They are all in the same central dimension. Not all 1218's chronicling media are spot on in detail, saying that means that his versions are going to be different than the versions you know. Like, his Rick from Rick and Morty may be different than the Rick and Morty you're used to watching. There are minute mistakes from those creators and chroniclers because they worked together and had altered visions amongst themselves from the original creator / chronicler. So Chris is basically saying that his versions are the true versions, even though he didn't come up with these ideas, the creators did, but whatever. Therefore, you may, and I don't know why he capitalized you may, because that's a comma, but whatever, as well throw your past logics out the window now. Open your mind, that's what Chris told me to do. Up now, because it is all happening in real time. It has been happening in real time. With that, we personally are in need of better help in restrictive dimension that has been getting in flowing magics and powers now better so presently. I need the help that only the staff of the past patrons of the end games can provide. And I don't know what the End Games is. It seems like they're like a gaming place in Charlottesville, but I can't verify that. But it seems like it's a place that Chris is like hanging out in with other people. Requirement of learning and playing Dungeons and Dragons. So because of S&T mentioning Dungeons and Dragons and doing an alternate dimension that was Dungeons and Dragons theme, Chris is now wasting his time playing Dungeons and Dragons instead of making the comics people actually paid for. This is why you don't introduce Chris to shit, because he'll just make it into the comic book, which that'll make the comic book even worse if that's possible, and he'll waste his time playing it. Within the end games with the players who have presently going there before January 1st, 2020, my physical mind is learning the details of the game, and I require further help in better comprehending the Dungeon Master screen. So yeah, he's saying he's been playing Dungeons and Dragons instead of doing the job he's getting paid to do. Typical habits of wording of such relevant in this dimension, and I still befuddled by too many dice variety this game utilizes, and I need offline player EXP and learning for myself and personal character sheet and no one else other than the players at end games and my past present friends of the Pokemon League there as well for my closest friends of the league. So I think after the gameplays closed down, they started hanging out here, if I'm not mistaken, because the Pokemon League was at the gameplay. So maybe this is like Gameplays 2.0. Can't wait till Chris gets kicked out of here. To work with us for common goals and greater good for saving these very Earths between both dimensions. And going out to the pizza parlor event is only a pebble in comparison within the actual in-game store. So, Shaw and Bree, I respect you both. I hope that isn't the name of two people that are going to be stalked now thanks to you. But times are at hand, and judgment hardships are moot at this time. Your response to the Parcells letter that I have sent to you must be positive and posted online. Now, please, your goddess, I, CPU Blueheart, humbly beseech thee in this... fuck you. This is, who cares? Real, serious, I require you... This is so fucking cringe. I hate it when Chris starts talking like he's royalty. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna just say lightning, heart, lightning. Yeah, cringy. But people were asking him in the comments section, where the fuck are the comics, Chris? And people want him to make the comic books. That's all people want him to do. People pay this man for his shitty comics, and he can't even fucking make his shitty comics. That's all they want from him. They want his shitty fucking Sonichu shit, but he can't even make that. So, Christian is trying to deflect from his responsibilities again. That's why I tell you, don't give Christian money. If you give Christian money, he is going to waste it, and he isn't going to make the thing that you paid him for. And even if he does make the thing you pay him for, it will probably come to you late, and it won't be as good as you thought it was going to be, even if your expectations are really, really low. So hopefully you guys like this video. I know some people are having trouble deciphering Chris's tweets. I guess that's my new job, figuring out what the fuck this crazy man is saying. If you guys like it, like it. If you want to see more, then share it. And if you like my channel, then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and bye. Before the credits roll, I thought I'd give a shout out to my multiple ways of making money. YouTube is starting to slowly sanitize the platform, making it hard for people to make money on edgier content like I do. So I'm reminding you guys that I have a Patreon. The Patreon has plenty of reward tiers, including seeing my podcast early and possibly getting on the show if I can fit that into the schedule. I have video recommendation tiers that you can try to get into. And if all else fails and my YouTube falls apart, I always have a BitChute account. So remember to check out all these different things in the description below.